Hey, in this video I want to share some rumors and some thoughts about what might be coming at CP Plus or at NAB here in a couple of weeks this year. I think that Sony's really got to come out with the 16 to 35 GM lens, a G Master lens. I think that's not probably going to be announced either at CP Plus or at NAB, but probably in Q3, Q4 of this year. I think, however, that the A7 IIIs will be announced here in a couple weeks at CP Plus, such that then they can be shipped in Q2 here of 2017, starting March, April, April, May, June. So I'm really excited about that because the A7 IIIs, I really feel like Sony could make some incredible cameras with those A7 IIIs. I was looking at the A7 IIs and I was looking at the specs of my 6300 and I was thinking, boy, it doesn't make any sense to upgrade to an A7 II with this camera. Like, I would absolutely love to have a full frame camera, but I don't need it when I have this. This has all the features that I want, and the ISO at which I can use S-Log2 and S-Log3 is lower on this than it is on the A7S II. That's killer. That means I need a lot less ND to make it usable. There might be a higher end Alpha series camera coming out this year from Sony. The A9 is what it's been called in the rumor mills. So this A9 should be a contender to kind of dethroning something like the Canon 1D fill in the blank. So that could be really exciting. I feel like the Alpha 99 II, really exciting cameras, a couple of serious huge flaws, mostly with recording video. So I'm really excited to see what Sony's going to be doing with these A7 IIIs. I think it could be killer. I think that's really exciting. I think if we aren't going to see the A7 IIIs at CP Plus, we're going to see them at NAB. I think at NAB we should start seeing Rode talking about shipping their microphones that they announced here a couple of weeks ago. I think that would be fantastic. I think either at CP Plus or NAB, but probably with the tendency towards favoring NAB, we should expect to see the EOS M6. Tilting touch panel, 49 autofocus points, 6 to 9 frames per second burst, ISO up to 25,600, and a tilting 3-inch touchscreen with full HD video recording ability to be announced. I think that M6, as a successor to the M3, could be really good because I've never heard a good thing about the M3, but I've heard a lot of great things about the M5 that they've recently come out with, and so I'm really hoping that they kind of push some of that tech into the M6 because it's those smaller cameras that Canon is going to be using to directly compete with stuff like the Alpha 6000 line. I think in order to really do that properly, they need 120 frames per second in video. I think they need 4K. And I don't think that they're ever going to do that. I think they're intending those cameras to be for a fundamentally different audience, and I think that's going to really hurt them in the long run because they stayed out of mirrorless for a long time, and Sony stepped in and is providing an absolutely fantastic experience with mirrorless cameras. And I would love to shoot Canon mirrorless, but it's just not going to happen. I mean, they have their own lens mount for the EOS mirrorless line, which I think is a huge mistake. That's a huge mistake. You gotta make them compatible. Make it another EFS mount because that's what's going to sell more of those cameras. If it is less barrier to entry to me to get one of them, then I'm going to pick one up just for fun. But if I'm going to buy it and it's only going to have a kit lens and just a very small selection of usable lenses, then I'm not going to go for it. I'm not going to buy a product that I know that I'm going to have to buy an adapter in order to be able to use, because that's absolutely ridiculous. I bought the Alpha 6300 knowing that I was going to be investing in Sony glass or Zeiss glass because I'm not gonna mess with adapters. If I'm going to choose to do that after I've invested in Sony or Zeiss glass as a way to just kind of make things more usable cross-platform, then that's completely different. But I really don't think that the M6 is compelling in any way. I think that you should really expect a new 135mm f2 lens this year out of Canon. I think the one that they have now is old. It can't resolve that much detail. I think that there's a lot of lenses on the market that people are turning to instead of that lens, instead of Canon's, telephoto primes, just because there are better options. Canon is consistently upgrading as soon as they're actually challenged in the marketplace. Now, are they changing their price points? No, but Canon's 35mm f1.4 was kind of the standard, and then Sigma came out with theirs, and it was fantastic, and it was way better than the Canon. And now Canon's come back out with their own 35 that is better than the Sigma. But the problem is that it costs way too much more for it to be reasonable to expect a consumer, the average consumer like yourself and myself, to pay for that L series lens, to pay for that red ring, instead of the Sigma, which can get the job done more than adequately at like 2/3 the price. And there's also the T7i. This is going to be another one of those cameras like I was talking about in my 77D video, where it's like I just really don't know what it's going to be good for, because it seems like it's another version of the 77D, which is another version of the 80D, and it's like Canon is backloading or front, whatever it is, their higher end APS-C censored cameras with mostly the same tech. The T7i looks like it might have electronic image stabilization in it, though, which would be fantastic. That would be fantastic because you need in-body image stabilization nowadays to compete in this marketplace. And I really wish that Canon would have decided to go with actual in-body image stabilization, but I'll take whatever I can get, especially if it's capturing a full APS-C sensor in 1080 and can kind of crop in and it isn't going to degrade the image too much. Better than nothing, absolutely. The EOS M5 seems to have done it pretty well, and I'm really excited about that, but I'm really hoping that they start actually integrating in-body image stabilization, not electronic image stabilization, in their cameras here soon. That's kind of a huge turnoff for me right now about Canon. I really want to be buying a couple of their cameras, and knowing that neither the camera nor the lens has stabilization is... And even when the lens does have stabilization, oftentimes it's not really as good as it should be, and as good as third parties are putting into their lenses. I hope you've enjoyed listening to some of these rumors and opinions about what's gonna maybe be coming out here at CP Plus or NAB in the next couple of weeks. If you did, please don't hesitate to comment what you think, is different from what I've been representing, and let me know what you're thinking, and subscribe. It'll mean a whole lot to me. So thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate your attention. I'll see you in the next one.